Hello everyone! Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be playing Animal Jam while talking about how I got reported for being a furry at work. This is going to be one of those interesting videos where I talk about the furry fandom and just how that being a part of it can definitely affect the outside of your life. And we're going to be exploring on Animal Jam while we talk about it. So I work 10-hour shifts. Um, and, working long shifts definitely makes you want to socialize with people, who that you work with, Um, uh, and it's just funny how, like, being alternative in the workplace is definitely not easy. I will say that a lot of people do not like, and they do not like people that are different in the workplace. So anyway, this year I attended my first ever furry convention, Texas Furry Fiesta 2025. It was a blast. I got to meet cool fursuiters. I didn't take that much pics, honestly, because, well, I really just didn't feel like it. And also, I just had such a great convention experience that I didn't want to take any pictures. And it was a blast. Everybody was cool. The dealer's den was awesome. I spent at least $600 to $700 probably, or more. I don't know. I definitely will say my wallet was crying after that convention. But it was amazing. And I think conventions are a great way for people to get together. And that's what being a furry really is all about. Getting together, enjoying a shared interest of anthropomorphic characters and animal personas, and just overall having a blast and cosplaying and whatnot. But there are a lot of people out there that do not enjoy that kind of stuff. The furry fandom, well, when it first started out, was not that way. And it's definitely changed a lot, and it's grown a lot, and I'm glad to see new people joining the furry fandom. I think it's great that younger generations are able to enjoy such a unique and diverse fandom. A lot of people who are not a part of the furry fandom and don't really know much about it assume a lot of crazy things about furries, from using litter boxes to, I don't know, running on all fours, which, mad respect to Therians who are able to do that, because I cannot. But I love the Therian community. To people thinking that we identify as animals, to people just thinking that furry is just a adult thing, where people like to get down and rough in animal costumes, which, okay, maybe it's like that for some people, but I would say that the majority of people are not that way at all. Especially with the younger minority joining the furry fandom, I feel like it has definitely grown quite a bit. Well, these coworkers of mine, of course, they do not understand what the term furry means, and I mean that's okay. You know, they're not the type of people to kind of enjoy this kind of stuff, and it's just that's just how they are. And I know people are like saying, "Oh, well, shrimp, you got to keep work and your personal life separate," and that is absolutely true. You should keep your work life and personal life separate. But, I was very much new to the whole work place in general, and just not really knowing how to interact with people and just kind of talking about whatever. So I decided to just tell my coworkers, hey, I went to TFF and I had a lot of fun. Everybody was in fursuits and it was amazing. And, well, my coworkers did not like that. So, unfortunately, I had to get a talk from my lead. Yeah, it was not great. Definitely was embarrassing. I told my lead, I was like, do you think it's like an adult thing? And they were like, no, we don't think that. But my coworkers were definitely not satisfied with hearing the fact that I was a furry. And they just, I guess, assume that it was an adult thing, and it's not. It's really not. I feel like people and what amazes me is I kind of thought that people were way past that. It seems like, especially recently, people have outgrown like that mindset where people are assuming that everything furry is related to adult topics when it's not. And I thought that people outgrown it, but apparently they did not. And that's the one thing that sucks about you being alternative, is that people are not going to understand you, and that's okay. I do think people should be nicer to people that they don't understand or disagree with, but unfortunately humans are just not that way. Humans have always been very very like single-minded when it comes to diversity, and it's not really okay. I don't want to say that it's okay, because it's not. We as people should be more open-minded. It shouldn't be a problem of like, this is a hobby. It's kind of like art, you know what I mean? When it comes to art, people can talk about their art, and that's kind of like what being a furry is. It's a hobby, it's art, it's cosplay. It's nothing that hurts anyone in any way at all. But unfortunately, people do not think that way. So I ended up getting reported and got in trouble at work. I guess not serious trouble, but it happens. And it made me realize like how much furries aren't accepted still, and how much people are very judgmental and lack a lot of knowledge on a topic that they don't know, and they act like they know, but they don't know. But in my whole opinion, I think the furry fandom is like cosplay. It's like cosplaying your character. It's like, or it's like an artistic passion where you draw furry art, and it's like, yeah, I like drawing animals on two legs, kind of like a cartoon, like it's just a hobby. Your animal persona, kind of like how people make human personas, but for animals. But a lot of people, unfortunately, do not agree with that. A lot of normies don't. And you know what? That's okay. I am just glad that furries now are somewhat getting more accepted. I remember back in the past when they weren't as accepted. And it was really awful because, I remember back then, like, so many people, like, if you were a furry, oh my god, the amount of threats you would get in your freaking DMs for just saying that you were a furry. And I've had it happen to me before, even with people that I've dated who, like, found out I was a furry because I didn't want to tell them, and they'd be like, you're such a horrible person. You're such a horrible person. Oh, you're a furry. Ah. And I've been a furry for so long. I want to say I've been a furry, I think, for about 10, 11 years now. It's been a very long time. I've been a furry since I was 10. So, and I'm 21 now, so about 11 years. If the math is correct. Of course, I suck at math. Dog brain. But no, like, it's the amount of people who have, like, been so, like, rude towards furries, and I really think it's not okay. I think people should be nicer, especially with a younger minority, joining now. Well, it's not even a minority. I feel like a lot of furries are young, and it's not okay to pick on people that are younger than you. It's not okay to be hateful and mean to people that you do not understand. We should all be nice to one another. It makes me sad that, people definitely have this way of thinking where when you're different, they don't want anything to do with you. And it's just very sad. But hopefully sometime in the future, furries will be accepted. It definitely, I know that it, like, especially within recent years of TikTok, I've noticed furries have been a lot more accepted. Like, I remember when TikTok first came out and I was on it, everybody was doing the furry gamer war, which, okay, not gonna lie, that was pretty funny. But now it's like furries are getting a lot more accepted, and a lot of people are starting to even become furries themselves when they used to dislike them. And I think that's great. I'm glad that a lot of people are discovering that part of themselves. But it's just crazy how for so long it was misunderstood and people didn't really bother to do research or talk to furries and be like, "Hey, why are you this? Why? What are you?" You know? And I'm sure most furries would have been very pleased to, let you know what the furry fandom is about and what it means to them. But I've been a furry for so long, it's a part of me at this point. Like, it's not just a hobby, it's like, this is me. This is who I am. I love having an animal persona and just talking to other furries. Like, I love this culture of people. I think it's an amazing fandom, and I think it's wonderful. And I'm so glad to meet more people and be a part of this fandom. And hopefully, this fandom will eventually grow more. Hopefully nobody else gets reported at work for being a furry. But, well, anyway, that's all for this video. I was just wanting to go into my little ramble talk. But I appreciate you sticking around for the whole video. I definitely plan on making a lot more, and I do want to get a new PNG YouTuber of my persona. This one I drew, I think, last year. And he's just a little guy, but I'd like to make one that's a lot more, just more than just a head. But, well, yeah, I got reported at work for being a furry. So, if you want any pro tips from me, don't talk about your hobbies at work. Don't talk about anything, that is personal, at work. Even if your coworker seems like your best friend, which they really shouldn't be, because, they're supposed to be your coworker. But, that's besides the point. Even if your coworker seems like your bestest friend, don't tell them. Don't tell them that you are into any sort of hobby or interest, because it could be used against you, and somebody that doesn't like you will definitely tell on you. So, well, that is all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.